All right, guys, hopping right back into it. No special intros, no special anything, just straight wiring. So today I'm going to be working on the ground system, starter system, alternator, all that jazz. I'm gonna start by grounding the motor first. So you can see over here we have some nice 4-gauge wire, a couple ground terminals, and the rib nut tool. So we're going to drill holes in the chassis, 2 points, and start to run all the ground wires. So let's just get started. So first we're gonna start by grounding the chassis. You see the battery is already grounded. So we're gonna start by grounding the chassis and running straight down to this side of the block, right? And then after that, probably gonna loop it to the next side of the block and then ground it again on this side of the chassis. Then from there, we're gonna make another loop, I guess, maybe around here on this intake manifold bolt, or maybe on the bottom side where you can't see it, because we need to ground the head. And then the next one, we're going to have to ground the, I guess, the bell housing to the chassis as well. It's like 3 points: chassis to block, block to chassis, intake manifold, well, head to chassis, and then bell housing to chassis. That way we can connect everything to ground. And then this one, because this one is just going straight to battery ground, this should suffice. So let's go ahead and run these wires. All right, got these 4 cables made. They're gonna go from the battery straight to here. Second one's gonna go from here straight to that bolt on the intake manifold. Third one is gonna go from here to the tranny, or where the tranny would be. And then fourth one, we're gonna ground the other side of the block straight to the chassis. So let's go and make all 4 of these things. Well, make all 4 of these terminals.
You know what this song's about?
The Latins for me.
That's me again. And dude, I charge a lot, bro. I ain't
Alright guys, so we successfully made our ground cables. Look at that, boom boom boom, real nice. Oop, I'm gonna have to fix that heat shrink or just rewrap it in some tape or whatever. Boom. So finished up the alternator wire as well. Used the stock wiring, brought that straight through up and into that engine bay hole. Same thing with the starter. So now the starter also has power. That wire is also sent up and over the bell housing and into the little bay. So that's pretty cool. Last thing we need to do is make a signal wire, connect that straight to the ignition switch. And yeah, trying to think while I'm talking, but this is the stock connector. We're probably going to cut it up and fix it up. We'll see how it's gonna work, but yeah, that's about that. So now it's time to go inside and give the interior power, and that way we can test the starter and all that stuff. Right, so we got the car down now. Moving on to the interior. Gonna have to start to vacuum and stuff. This place starting to look a little filthy. All right, let's organize this spot, chop out all the interior wires that I never cut out last year, and yeah, get this ready to be laid on because this is really filthy. Good enough. So now let's get under here and find the main power wire. I remember it faintly, ever so faintly, and it ran across the dashboard, but I remember I pushed it outside, so I'm thinking that's the main one, but I'll have to figure it out. When I find it, I'll show you guys. All right, successfully located the power wires. How I know is that I touched these, and I know whenever I touch, I just, you know, you can tell what you touched. So being this, these are all three. I traced them all back to the main harness in there. That goes to the fuse box there, which I'm gonna have to figure out that later. But yeah, as long as everything works, everything works. But yeah, so we technically have 3 fuse boxes in the car. Stock, main one over there, that's the one that I did. That's for, I think, lighting, horns, whatever. So that's not really a major one. But yeah, these are the powers. And because the stock wiring is gone, we're gonna run it into that fuse box over there, closer to the battery anyway. So let's just toss this over, and I guess we gotta crimp all three of these together. It looks like nasty dirt in there. You can tell this used to run outside because look at that, the interior is not that dirty. All right, now that we located those 3 power wires, 1, 2, and 3, I'm just gonna put them all into, I'm just gonna put them all into this little fuse box I have over here. I put 30 amps on each of them, just waiting for the spade connectors to come. Then the interior will be powered the second I put the battery back in. While we wait for those, let's go ahead and connect all these powers for the fuse box. Well, this fuse junction box. Got that all powered. Got the battery sitting here just for now. There's a little bolt in the way. Gotta figure that out. But yeah, nice junction box. Should cover that up. So that's about all the wires that will go in there. Nice. Now, I already struggled under here. And crimped these spade connectors. And I'm just gonna start put them all here one by one. And after this, we can power the interior. Got those done. Let's go ahead and connect these terminals. This one's gonna be interesting. I'll pop the cap off of this one. Got these fresh terminals over here, but I'm just gonna use these for now and see what's going on. Alright guys, so it's like a giant mess now. I went to go put power to the interior and nothing came on. And I remember I did unplug the ECU and a bunch of stuff like that. So just kind of went ham, and since I rewired the entire engine bay, why can't I rewire the entire car? So still went, yeah, so I went crazy and just started pulling out all those wires. So yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. We have those 3 power wires over there. I'm gonna send one to the switches and gauges because all these do not need that much power. Send power to the radio, brake pressure switch, turn signals. We have a bunch. We have 3 power wires all here ready for it. So I guess let's just get started. Really, I don't even know when I'm gonna start it at, but I'm gonna do something here. Right, so I'll wire up the interior. Definitely gonna do it more professional now. I'm older, wiser, and I can't open this bag with one hand. So we're going to properly fuse everything. Which I think I cut that bag right open. I'm going to properly fuse and terminal and everything, all those good techniques that all these professional wiring people do. Right, so if you guys don't know how these work already, boom, and we're using these for all power, This is like a little fort to keep transferring the power all the way through each and every single one. So you can see the top terminals are going to be used. The bottom terminals are going to be the outputs. Well, number one, it's going to be power in the one, and then it's going to branch off to 2 through 6. All right, getting back into the interior. I actually spent probably about 2 hours or so rewiring the powers and the grounds and a couple of signals for this. Now it looks a lot less wires, a lot more neater. Still looks like a bunch of wired mess, but once everything's together inside the terminals, you understand what each and every single thing is. Alright, so I'm thinking mounting them on this back wall. We have several screw holes and whatnot. Just gotta figure out a small enough screw to go in this hole, and I guess sit flush, because I'm gonna put back on this cover to protect everything. Okay, we got our nice junction box installed. Now it's time to set up this relay. This relay is going to go for the whole steering wheel startup system. I kind of reworked the entire thing on how I want it to work, but I have a better understanding of relays now, so now we're going to do it the proper way, how it should have been done. So let's go ahead and start running wires everywhere. Alright guys, fast forward in time here. I'm the worst at filming with wiring stuff, but maybe next time I'll get one of those head cams and you guys can see me crimp and pin and all that stuff. So we got the power side done, ground side done. We have a second cable coming straight from the fuse box to give us power all the time for the lights, radio, what have you. And yeah, the relay and the steering wheel system is complete. So I guess, what else? We already gave all of these signals. Like this is a signal to the oil pressure, this one's coolant. Gave all those things power. Wired in the tack wire. You can see this wire says tack on it, if you guys can see that. That's about it. Every single gauge is wired up. The speedometer has a GPS in the little corner up there. Only other thing needs to be wired up is the fuel, so that's not hard. When I put in my new sending unit, I'll get that all wired up. Also started working on the ignition wire. So this wire is going to give the starter signal, and I want to have a red wire to cut power to the ignition. That way we can turn off the engine without, you know, taking the steering wheel off, because the steering wheel would technically be powered to the ignition. So this is going to get power straight from the distribution block, and you can see this one will light up green, this one will light up red. As soon as we give the steering wheel power, as soon as we connect the steering wheel, excuse me, these will light up, letting me know that it's time to start power. Alright, so we got everything put back, got these 2 buttons here. Don't have the prongs for it yet, but we're going to need to just test the starter. So I routed it to this button right here. If you heard that, it's working. Alright guys, super hyped that that started. So now, next thing we gotta do is attach the ignition wiring and see if we can power up our ECU. This is the second true test. All right, Mr. ECU, it's time for you to come out of hiding. Okay. I'm gonna mount it right here, screw it in, but for now I'm just gonna leave it, just plug it right in to see if it works. Oh, just like this. Alright, we have our computer. We're all hooked up to the ECU. I hope that's the right port. If not, I'm gonna have to get another cable. because this computer does not have USBs, only USB-Cs. So let's see. Let's go ahead and give these two circuit breakers power. Click and click. Nothing has blown up yet. So let's go ahead and start the car. Okay, let's go with this now. Alright, we're reading something. Let's go ahead and open up our Infinity Tuner. So, I'm trying to figure out for the past hour why this ECU is not turning on. And I kind of remembered I never grounded it. So after I ground it, then we should check and see if it works. My neighbor's having a party over there, sheesh. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, I heard the ECU click. I heard the relay, not the ECU, the relay click. I think we're in good standings. Alright, ECU should be getting power now. Connect this. Oh, yep, there we go. Series 5. Whew. I was like nerve-wracking. Well, guys, unfortunately, we can't upload the tune on this video because ain't nothing wrong with that. My battery is dying and my computer needs to be charged. I'm using that thing all day. So, I'm going to end it off here. I'm gonna wire these up tonight so we get these working. But that's about it. Definitely next video we're starting this. Pretty sure it's getting too long anyway. But definitely next video we are going to start this. Let's just end it off with a banger here. It's nighttime, darker now. Look at that, guys. Look at that. You guys haven't seen this view in a while, especially not this vibrant. This is nice. Super hype at how this is coming out, guys. Super hype. Definitely going to start it really soon. The next video you guys will see a startup. Super confident in that. So we just now got 12.5 volts. Left it out for about an hour on charging. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep rambling on. So, comment, rate, and subscribe. Never forget, never stop modifying.